All right. Some of you guys, if you've missed any of these marketing classes, they are available on YouTube at www.youtube.com, and in the search box, Lone Star Success Team. Okay, and hit search, and then you look for the July marketing classes, class 1 through 5. Now, tomorrow night we finish up. Okay, we're going to do a review tomorrow night, some information that might be on the quiz, and don't worry about the quiz, not going to be anything big. I'll probably send the quiz out this weekend to everybody that was in the class. If you pass the quiz, you are group marketing certified for the Zero Copay program, and you will get a certificate on that. So, but don't worry about quizzes, no biggie, just about 5 or 6 questions. And if you need to review any of the marketing material, you can do so by going to YouTube and pick that up. So let's see, on Monday we talked about getting started. We did a little bit of introduction about the website, where to go for the resources and all of that. Tuesday we had guest speaker Larry Spear, who gave us the overview of the program. Last evening we talked about how to contact, what to say, and if you remember, data.com is one of the websites we use to get a name and all of that. We're going to talk how to get additional names on a couple of industries tonight as well. Okay, but tonight the main course, so to speak, is going to be the information about self-funding, versus fully insured, because we want to make sure you understand why companies do self-fund. Okay, and I have an excellent article on that. Let's see, I want to share with you real quick. I'll put up on the screen here. Remember our website, www.lonestarmeds.net. That's the resource site. Okay, and you can click on these things. You can download if you want to get the employee form, dependent form. When you click on employers, okay, that brings up the PowerPoint presentation. Some of you guys ask about that. That's a PowerPoint here, kind of what Larry had. That's the overview as well. That's the PDF file, okay, when you click on that. And then there's frequently asked questions. And remember, this site can be co-branded. So if you're dealing with a municipality or an organization or a company, they can co-brand the site with their name and stuff at the top. Okay, and then employees can go here, download the form, they can check on their medications, all of that. So it's a customer self-service site here that the company can have, and the website's hosted and everything by Lone Star, so there's no cost to that, which is awesome. All right, and we have the only type of zero copay program like this in the entire United States. So that makes this marketing unique. You have no competition. Okay, from anywhere in the United States. This is it. This program is exclusive to Lone Star, nobody else. So you guys have the proprietary information, okay, and you have the keys to the Jaguar here, and you can run with it. And hopefully the training that we've given you will help you do just that. Okay, I want to show you one thing here before I begin. I want to, let's see. Okay, I've got this personal flyer. If you want to use this for marketing, okay, now remember we showed the script, okay, and you're going to pretty much send off like an email, okay, to employees and to companies and stuff like that. But if you want to have a flyer, okay, and on the zero copay, I can do this flyer for you. In fact, I'm using a flyer that I did for one of our agents, Gail Moore. Okay. Now these prices here that you see, those are not the analysis prices. Okay, that's based upon our select program. Okay, for that right there. But it kind of gives a general idea of the pricing there, the wide range of pricing. And by the way, Billify now at Walmart, I think you can get for about $550 or whatever, $600 so it's a little bit cheaper. But that gives a little bit of pricing there, okay, and it will have your information on there, okay, and stuff like that. And you can use this, include this with an email, okay, as an attachment or whatever. I don't know where you would actually advertise this because you're dealing specifically with companies rather than customers. Okay, so I don't know where you would advertise that someone would see this. So this would be like a flyer that you could send along with any information the company would want. It'll have your contact information on there, a little bit of information, and then you send the overview or whatever else you want to send to that company. But this flyer just is kind of like an extra marketing piece here. If you want one of these, just let me know and I can do that for you. Okay, what I want to really talk about, I'm going to put this up on the screen. I'm going to just pretty much read down through this, and you guys can follow along, okay? And then we're going to talk about some statistics and some other things, okay, before we wrap things up tonight. But this basically is understanding self-funded versus fully insured health plans, okay? Now, keep in mind that we're also talking about prescription plans because the majority of companies that have the health plans, okay, they have a self-funded prescription plan as well, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and start and read down, and you can follow along here. Okay, so understanding self-funded versus fully funded. With school district and other governmental employer budgets stretched tightly, some are considering a switch to a self-funded health care plan because health insurance costs are a significant expense for most organizations. Saving money in this area can have a drastic impact. When using a self-funded plan, employers assume the liability and risk associated with uncertain health care costs in exchange for a number of significant financial benefits. While not without risk, self-funded health insurance plans can give organizations better cash flow, tax benefits, a greater degree of flexibility over the plan's design, and reduced administrative costs. So going into a self-funded plan, okay, a company is going to realize savings on their bottom line. And what is a company's main emphasis? That's the bottom line. Okay, now I applaud companies that have health care plans for employees. A lot of companies have dropped health care plans because of the cost. But those companies that still have health care plans, they're looking to save money any way they can, okay, and self-funded is an excellent way to do that because they can control the cost, okay? The employer can set the premium rates based on their claims history and adjust the plan in other ways to cut costs. If claims are lower than anticipated, the employer can invest any savings and earn interest. Wow, that's a pretty neat idea. Okay, in the event that claims are higher than usual, stop-loss insurance coverage can pay for excess costs. Okay, and then the structure of self-funded plans. In addition, in a traditional health plan, the employer, insurance provider, and employees have fairly fixed roles. An organization will pay premiums based on its projected claims, but won't get reimbursement if they come in lower than projected. Okay, so they do not get reimbursed if, okay, the claims of their employees come in lower than projected. Sounds like kind of a bummer and a rip-off to me, but that's the way it's set up on fully insured plans. Okay, in the transition to a self-funded health insurance plan, the employer stops working with the health insurance company, so they tell the health insurance company, take a hike, okay, and they create their own coverage plan based on their needs, okay? Self-funded plans, there is greater flexibility in plan design and administration. An employer can choose what coverage it wants and avoid paying for what it doesn't. Sounds like a smart idea, okay? Then the employer essentially pays claims out of pocket from collected premiums rather than using predetermined premiums to compensate an insurance provider for assuming financial risk. Let me read that again. Then the employer essentially pays claims out of pocket from collected premiums rather than using predetermined premiums to compensate an insurance provider for assuming financial risk. Okay, so they're cutting out the insurance provider, and remember I said the high cost of insurance premiums, and guys, the high cost of insurance premiums, the Armageddon of high cost is going to happen in 2017. You're already seeing it happening in a lot of states. It's going to be catastrophic. Okay, and this is healthcare plans we're talking about, but every prescription plan is going to suffer the same demise as the healthcare plans. Guys, luckily we're going to be there to pick up the pieces. We're going to offer a solution that's rock solid, going to save companies and employees a great deal on their prescription costs. You know, hopefully Chris can find a way, and Lone Star can find a way to offer a comprehensive health care plan, okay, like they've done for prescriptions. And I fully believe we will one day, and that's one of the reasons I got involved, because I can envision that. And if we come up with something comparable to kind of what we've done in the prescription area, and we can do the same thing for health care, okay, my goodness, I mean, you talk about the money to be made in that. So, but anyways, I mean, we can make a fortune as it is right now with prescriptions. Okay, so let's continue on here. Okay, to protect against unpredictable or above average claims, the organization purchases stop-loss coverage as a way to limit risk. Now, some of you guys on the call, I mean, you may be involved with that. The stop-loss provider pays any claims higher than that preset amount. Okay, while some large organizations might be able to handle the plan internally, most use a third-party administrator to oversee the plan. And guys, these administrators, in short, are called TPA. Okay, TPA, third-party administrators, they oversee the plan. Okay, how much responsibility the employer and administrator each bear will vary. This can allow employers the flexibility of a self-funded plan without assuming management responsibilities with which an added organization lacks familiarity. Okay, so the TPAs, okay, have organized to help the self-funded companies, okay, administer the self-funded plan, so that a lot of that is not done internally by companies. Okay, self-funded plan cost. In a self-funded plan, the employer must set fixed costs per employee and take into account claims, expenses, or variable costs. These cannot be perfectly predicted for a given month, although careful studies of past history are the basis for setting rates. The cost will depend on the coverage provided and a number of employees enrolled. Variable costs, on the other hand, include the health care expenses of employees participating. All right, I think I have to go back up here. I'm sorry. Variable costs, on the other hand, include the health care expenses of employees participating in the plan. While these can vary up or down and aren't guaranteed, organizations purchase stop-loss coverage to protect against any catastrophic issues. So you can kind of see how that fits together. This coverage has three general features which can insulate employers from higher claims. For individual issues, specific stop-loss insurance kicks in if any individual claims exceed a set limit, which may happen with the high cost of care needed after a major incident. Reinsurance coverage can also step in during a year when claims for the entire organization are significantly higher than projected. For example, the aggregate stop-loss policy may go into effect when claims exceed a certain percent of projections. Smaller organizations with smaller revenues may also benefit from ACI, which will help pay for medical costs if claims are particularly heavy to start the year, resulting in cash flow issues. The advantages of self-funding a plan. One of the biggest advantages of a self-funded health plan is that it can have a positive impact on the organization's cash flow. All right, let me repeat that. One of the biggest advantages of a self-funded health insurance plan is that it can have a positive impact on the organization's cash flow. Guys, that's everything, okay? Cash flow is the name of the game for any company. All right, they're looking to save costs. The self-funded healthcare plans, okay, are set up so an organization can manage costs, okay, and manage their cash flow, and that's extremely important. Okay, to start, self-funded plans are also generally exempt from premium taxes in most states, lowering employee costs in that area immediately. Fantastic. So an employer has a lot of advantages of self-funded plans. With fully insured health insurance plans, employers pay an insurance provider in advance to cover projected claims, in addition to the insurer's overhead and administrative costs. However, in a self-funded plan, the money collected by the organization is only paid out when claims actually occur. Sounds like a smart idea, and can stay in a reserve account accruing interest until it is needed. Guys, that's awesome. In addition, if claims during a particular month are lower than anticipated, that money adds to the reserve and earns additional interest, creating a long-term financial benefit. No wonder companies resort to a self-funded plan. Okay, sounds like a very smart idea, guys. The fact that employers are directly paying for health insurance claims also makes wellness programs and other incentive programs more relevant. With fully insured plans, wellness initiatives generally do not result in significantly lower health insurance costs. However, in a self-funded scenario, an overall improvement in employee health can lead to an immediate reduction in claims, which feeds back into the organization's reserve fund. If those trends continue, there may be a reduction in the necessary contributions made by both employers and workers. As another advantage, organizations may be able to customize self-funded plans to a degree. While collective bargaining agreements may require certain benefits be covered by any employer-sponsored plan, self-funding may allow for some flexibility. This flexibility can also be advantageous in the event an employer's health care requirements or needs change. In addition, since a specialist third-party provider, those are the TPAs, completes much of the administration of the plan, employers can refocus their internal resources on other relevant issues. Okay, and of course, always there are disadvantages. All right, the disadvantages of self-funding. The main risk of self-funding involves situations when, for unforeseen reasons, claims are higher than anticipated. While stop-loss coverage will protect employers from paying excessive claims in a given year, the cost of that coverage will likely increase, and it may be more difficult to get rates from other stop-loss providers. Higher than expected claims in a self-funded plan may also make it more difficult for insurers to go back to a fully insured plan in the future. For organizations that choose to run their self-funded plan internally, the administrative cost involved with it can be significant. However, using third-party administrators, or again, TPAs, to operate the plan will still likely involve lower administrative costs than those associated with fully insured plans. Okay, what type of employer can benefit from self-funded plans? Generally, most employers can benefit from self-funding as long as they make an accurate assessment of the cost they are likely to face, set rates accordingly, and are prepared to delegate the administrative responsibilities. Okay, roughly 50% of workers in the U.S. are already covered under a self-funded plan, even though they may not be aware of it. However, self-funding is not a quick fix, and employers should not automatically assume that they will save money immediately. For this reason, public sector organizations should approach the potential shift patiently and get advice from those who specialize in school districts or other governmental employers. When assessing whether a self-funded plan is a wise choice, factors to study include past coverage utilization, cash flow, and the status of the employees being covered. Different employee populations will have their own health characteristics and patterns of care use. In short, self-funding can benefit both large and small employers by helping them reduce health care costs and put those gains back into the organization. Okay, guys, so that is the difference between self-funded and fully funded, and it really kind of makes sense, and you can see how that all fits together. If you want a copy of this, I can give it to you. Okay, by no means am I an expert, okay, in self-funded versus fully insured. I'm learning just like you guys, okay, but it seems like a pretty simple process and a simple business decision, okay, for companies that want to control costs. And, of course, healthcare costs are out of control today, all right? And a company can really control their costs. So I would imagine that if a company decides, okay, to go self-funded, they have a track record of already having a health care plan in place by a healthcare company. Okay, so they have a track record. They have statistics. Their accountants or whoever it is that crunches the numbers, they can run reports and graphs and other things, and they can see, they can project, okay, what have the costs been over the last couple of years or the last 5 years or whatever. So they have an idea when they switch to a self-funded, generally what their costs are going to be. Okay, so the larger companies in the United States have switched to self-funded plans because they can control costs. Okay, you're not going to find it so much in the smaller companies, but that is changing. Okay, even smaller companies that provide health care coverage and prescription costs, okay, may switch to self-funded, okay, on that. Now, it's really going to be kind of hit and miss when you're contacting companies because you're not going to know whether they're self-funded, okay, or whether they're fully funded or whatever. Okay, even if they're fully funded, okay, they may want to take a look, okay, at what we're doing with our program. Here's why, is because my wife works for a large senior assisted living organization throughout the United States. They offer a pretty good health care plan, okay, of which my wife and I are a member, but all of the additional programs are all a la carte. So during the open enrollment period, okay, you could go and choose if you want dental coverage or vision coverage. You can choose all kinds of wellness things that you have to pay for. It increases your premium, okay, and part of that is prescription coverage, okay. Before I knew Lone Star, I went down through, I looked at their prescription coverage, and I think the premium was like $90 a month for their low bottom of the rung prescription coverage, okay. Now, healthcare premiums are crazy in itself. Well, when you start adding prescription coverage, it really ups the cost, okay, of that. Okay, so any company that may offer a fully insured plan, like the company my wife works for, okay, they may have a la carte items like a prescription plan, okay, and you may be able to help companies like that, okay, because our plan, you don't have to change anything that they're doing, okay, and with our plan, okay, we have a zero copay. With my wife's prescription plan through her company, that you had paid the premium, then you had a copay on top of that. Okay, Lone Star can fit into a niche with even fully funded companies that offer like an a la carte prescription plan. Okay, so it's entirely possible. Okay, and there may be companies that are fully insured that are thinking of becoming self-insured, and they may get your information, and because they can offer a prescription plan that is not available anywhere else in the United States and saves a boatload of money, okay, that may be the one thing that gets them to internally make a decision to go self-funded. So you never know. Obviously our market is self-funded companies. That's entirely evident, okay? But you never know when you're contacting companies what they're thinking, what their mind frame is. They may have had insurance coverage that they dropped because they can't afford it. They may have offered insurance coverage and prescription coverage. You may come along with what we have here. They may decide that our prescription program is so good that they would like to start a prescription program again, okay, for the employees, and our program might look very enticing to them, and they may decide, well, you know what, we can't afford the health care premiums and we can't afford to go self-funding on health care, but this prescription program looks pretty good, and I think we might be able to manage that. So, I don't want to exclude any company, okay, because we don't know the inner workings and the brains of the company, what they may be thinking. Obviously we're looking for companies more than 50 employees, and obviously the bigger the company, the better opportunity you're going to have because those companies are going to be self-funded. But every company in America can be a target. And even those companies that may say, we just can't underwrite the cost of prescriptions even using your program, then guys, we also have our Select RX program, and we have 5 marketing classes that we did in April. Those classes are available on YouTube. Learn about that if you've not been through that class, so that if a company says, well, we can't do the zero copay, then you can fall back on and say, well, we do have a prescription program that will be great for your employees, that the employees pay for, the company doesn't, and it will save employees a bunch of money on their prescription costs. So, guys, we have the group marketing covered, okay, from A to Z. You have all the tools necessary, okay, to help any company in America. But the big money to be made, obviously, is in the zero copay, because there's nothing like it anywhere, okay, and a lot of the major companies in America are self-funded, okay, so that's a big market. Now, let me go ahead here and let me put this website back up on the screen here, and let me click on the employer tab you see over to the right on this here. When you click on the employer tab, it brings up that overview. Okay, the PDF overview. I'm just going to go down here. Okay, and right there, okay, it says, what if, okay, a program existed, that's our program, where employers were able to save substantial amounts of money without compromising benefits. They don't have to change anything, yet they can save money. Okay, they converted to a self-funded plan because of money, because of cash flow. Now we offer something additional, okay, to where they can even save more money. Employees were able to receive their medications for a zero copay. Okay, both employees and employers reduced their costs significantly. Your current RX program isn't replaced, it merely enhances it. So there's no risk, none whatsoever, for the company. They don't have to change anything. They don't have to contact their TPA administrator and say, hey, we need to drop this, we need to modify that. Nothing. Everything is set up for free. We do an RX analysis. We have the program running side by side with their self-funded prescription plan. And guess what starts to happen? Okay, now an employee, okay, that the wife needs a medication, and that costs $100, and they have to pay a $20 copay for that. The employer's picking up $80 of that. Okay, now Lone Star comes along. We have a plan that runs right alongside their other health care plan. Okay, they can go on the co-branded website. They can click on the medication availability, and they can see that $100 med is available. And now it has a zero copay. So what do you think that employee is going to do? You think he's going to say, oh, man, I'm not going to, Lone Star, what's this? I'm not going to do that. You know what he's going to do? He's going to say, you know what? I'm going to see if I can get that medication for free. Why should I pay $20 when I can get it for $0? So he's going to enroll. He's going to fill out the enrollment form. Okay, and now that $100 medication that he was getting, and he was giving Walmart the money, okay, and it was spending the $20 copay. Now he gets it through Lone Star. He pays nothing. Now the employer, instead of being billed, okay, for that $100 medication, of which $20 the employee was paying, okay, now Lone Star has done an analysis, and that $100 med has been reduced to $50 or $40. So now the employee, when he gets the bill, only pays $40 instead of $80. You think he's going to be happy? You better believe it. You see what it says here, guys? Both employees and employers reduce their costs significantly. Well, guess what happens, okay, when that kicks in? The employee says, my goodness, man, look at the cost savings. Look at my cash flow. Look what goes into the reserve now, okay, significantly. And now the employee gets that med, okay. His wife's satisfied because she's got the med. He's satisfied because he's not putting out $20. Okay, the employer's satisfied because he's only paying $40 instead of $80. And guess what? Lone Star's satisfied because they have a new client, and you're satisfied because you're going to get wealthy. Okay? See, it's a win-win. There's no losers here, guys. There's no losers. Nothing changes for them. Nothing. Okay? So I don't know how a company can say no, especially when we run an RX analysis and we come back and like Larry, okay, he has a company, okay, that's going to be paying $140,000 for their yearly prescription costs. All right? Larry makes 10% commission on that. Okay, they're going to be smaller companies like one we showed you on the board last night, okay, where they were paying 19. Now they pay significantly less, but who cares? Because there are thousands and thousands and thousands of companies that we can help. Okay, so, I mean, you know, anywhere you go with this group marketing, you win. Okay, with the zero copay, boy, it's just going to blow the lid off of prescription help in America. Okay, and with the Armageddon coming in 2017, we're going to be the only silver lining in healthcare. Okay, and this is going to make a difference for a lot of companies, and you're going to help a lot of people, and you're going to reduce a lot of cost for companies. Okay, and you're going to make a lot of money doing it. And guys, you know, it's not a complicated program. It's obviously not as complicated as the PAP with the enrollment forms and everything. Less complicated than the Select RX. Okay, there's less to know about that, but it will require a higher degree of responsibility because you are dealing with companies. But again, you can fall back on, once you've made that foot in the door, you can fall back on Lone Star and have Chris or Larry do a three-way call, a consultation with that company, with that large company, with that medium company. You can let Chris sell who we are, what we do. You can let Larry sell. Okay, guys, and you know, I don't know how you lose with this type of a program. But the question is, it's there. Are you going to work it? That's really the bottom line. It's there. Are you going to work it? Now, let me go ahead. I mentioned some statistics yesterday briefly. I'm going to go ahead and put that up on the screen here. All right, just making sure everybody can see that. Okay, and I'll get the chat here in a minute, guys. Okay, self-funded health care and employer prescription cost. Get this, guys. That article said 50%. Actually, 66% of all employees in the USA are in a self-funded program. Wow, 66%. Now, this is even more startling. 91% of companies with 5,000 or more employees are self-funded. 91%. Okay, and the top three self-funded industries here, guys. School districts, 70% of school districts in the United States are self-funded. 60, and I had this backwards yesterday. Hospitals and clinics are number 2. 65% of their employees are in a self-funded program. Local, county, and state government, 63%. So that gives you 3 huge industries to go after, let alone all of the ABC manufacturing companies or the unions. Unions would be big. Okay, the sky's the limit. There are millions and millions of companies nationwide. Okay, you know, this is an absolutely dynamite program because nobody else has anything like this. Okay, and the school districts and government and even hospitals to a certain extent, everybody's going to have a website. the governments especially, you can go to a website, you're going to be able to find names, numbers, emails of departments. Okay, you're going to be able to narrow that down until you get to a contact person. But guys, don't start at your state government level. Okay, I want you to start local. Okay, nail down your city, nail down everybody, every city in your county. Okay, you nail that down because those are going to be the easiest to approach. Okay, and then you go to the county level. Okay, and then the state level. I don't think I have anybody here in group marketing, okay, that's in the same area. So you're not going to be stepping on toes here, and you guys are going to be the VIP agents of Lone Star because of all of this information you have. Okay, now some of you other guys, you have unions and other bigger companies in your own backyard you can go after. You don't have to go after these three industries. Okay, but it gives you some idea, okay, of these large industries and the number that are self-funded. They're already there. They're not making the decision. They're not making the transition. They're already there. They're prime for the picking, as they call it. Prime for the picking, guys. Just tremendous. Okay, so don't let this opportunity go untapped because it's absolutely tremendous. Okay, and everybody can benefit this, whether you're an affiliate or a business builder. But I got to warn you, if you're an affiliate agent, and you contact your local government, they say, yeah, we've got 500 employees. We really like this program. You better upgrade to Business Builder pronto because it'll mean the difference between 5% commission or 10% commission. Okay? But guys, there are choices here, and every choice you make in this zero copay is a win-win situation. And it's just absolutely fabulous. I mean, it's amazing. Lone Star has come up with some great programs, the Diabetic, the Select RX. We came up with a Business Builder program to enhance the agent experience. Now we come up with a zero copay, okay, which no other organization, no other company, no other agents anywhere in the world has access to except Lone Star. So guys, do not let water pass under the bridge without you doing anything. Tomorrow you need to start your zero copay business in action, okay, and go after this. But don't let everything else go by the wayside, okay, because you still want to recruit. You still have people that you can help individually, okay, and, you want to get the money from recruiting the overrides by building a team because that could pay you substantially, okay. And there are going to be a lot of licensed agents you're going to recruit or on your team that are not going to have any time to concentrate on this because they already have a very busy business right now. Okay, so don't only concentrate on zero copay because Lone Star, we have far-reaching programs, okay, that can affect a lot of areas and can bring in cash flow from a lot of different sources. But, this is not going to be for everybody. I mean, obviously we have, 60 people, 50 people that are part of this group marketing. Okay, and probably the 50 people or 60 people that wanted to be involved with this, you're probably only going to see probably 10 people that are going to really be serious. That's just the numbers, okay, for anything that's done, in the marketplace. But guys, I can guarantee you, if you're serious about this and put your wheels in motion, rely upon the tools that Lone Star has given you. You're not going to be sorry because you're going to be bringing in money hand over fist. And it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, and we've covered a lot of information. If you want a copy of that article, I can send it to you. If you want a copy of this statistics sheet, okay, I can get that to you as well. Okay, so just let me know about that, and I can send it to you. We will have a class tomorrow night. Okay, I'm going to open it up for questions here in a minute, but we have a class tomorrow night. We're going to review a lot of stuff. Okay, and stuff that'll be on the quiz. It's going to be a good class, probably only about 25 minutes long tomorrow night. So keep that in mind and all of that. So let me go ahead and just open it up for a few